"You're not coming to Paris with us," my sister said, looking at my thrift store sweater. "Some of us belong at Fashion Week. You belong in a storage closet." She was talking about the exclusive fashion event happening next week, the kind where buyers and editors decided what the world would wear next year. Maddie had somehow networked her way into an invitation, and she'd been insufferable ever since. "I organize fabric swatches at a design house." Charlotte told everyone I was the girl who sorts through designers' trash. "If that's what you think," I said quietly, folding my worn jeans. "Have fun at the shows." My mother shook her head. "Maybe if you'd applied yourself like Maddie instead of wasting that expensive degree, you'd be successful." What they didn't know was that I'd been working in secret for 3 years, not organizing swatches, but creating them. I was the anonymous designer behind the minimalist collection everyone was calling revolutionary. The fashion house presenting my work had kept my identity hidden at my request. The CEO had paid me $200,000 up front with another $100,000 due after the show. We'd been working with Italian mills for months, perfecting fabrics that looked simple but required techniques no one else had mastered. "When they see this collection," he'd said, "everything changes." Maddie spent weeks planning her outfits, texting the family group chat about her fashion week prep and how she was among people who matter. Mom threw her a going-away dinner and made me serve the food. "At least you're good at fetching things," Maddie said as I refilled her wine. "That's basically your job anyway, right?" Mom laughed. They made me take the pictures while Maddie opened her presents, designer luggage I'd never afford on my assistant salary. 3 days before the show, my phone rang at midnight. The CEO was panicking. "We have a catastrophe. The seamstress team lead just quit and took half the team. We have 47 garments that need final adjustments. No one else knows your construction methods." I was already packing my tools. "How fast can you get me to Paris?" "Private jet leaves in 3 hours. You'll have a full workshop waiting. I'm doubling your fee. We cannot let this collection fail. I'll be ready in 20 minutes. One more thing, we're still keeping you anonymous until the final bow. This reveal needs to be perfect." 30 hours later, I was in a Parisian workshop teaching French seamstresses my techniques. They'd worked with every major house, but my construction method made them stop and stare. I spent 2 straight days hand-finishing seams that machines couldn't replicate, adjusting proportions down to the millimeter. The morning of the show, I was backstage steaming the final piece when I heard familiar voices. Maddie was touring backstage with her group, all dressed in designer clothes and talking loudly about their connections. "This craftsmanship is insane," one of them was saying, touching my coat. "This is what separates real fashion from department store garbage." Maddie nodded knowingly. "You can tell when someone actually understands construction versus just playing dress up." She walked right past me without looking, too focused on being seen by the right people. I kept steaming, hiding my smile. "Excuse me," the show director said to Maddie's group. "Only essential personnel backstage now." Maddie protested about her industry connections, but was ushered to her front row seat. Minutes before showtime, the CEO found me. "Whatever happens, you've created something extraordinary." The lights dimmed, models started walking. From backstage, I could hear the gasps. Maddie's voice carried over the music. "This is genius. This designer understands luxury." After the finale, the audience was on their feet. The CEO grabbed my hand. "They're demanding to meet you. Ready?" Maddie had pushed her way backstage again, desperate to meet the mysterious designer everyone was calling the future. "Where are they?" she kept asking. "I need to meet this person." The CEO stepped onto the backstage platform, addressing everyone crowded behind the curtains. "Ladies and gentlemen, the mind behind the collection." He pulled me forward. Maddie's face went from excitement to confusion to horror in 3 seconds. "What are you? How are you?" She actually stepped backward. The fashion editor from Paris grabbed my hands. "Your construction technique, how did you develop it?" Maddie stood frozen as buyers surrounded me with contracts. The CEO announced to everyone, 3 years she's been perfecting this in secret. We've never seen anything like it." Maddie finally found her voice. "But you organize samples." "I organize my samples," I said, signing a contract for next season. "There's a difference." The Italian fabric supplier kissed both my cheeks. "Your sister? She should be very proud." Maddie's mouth opened and closed like she was drowning in air. Every single piece she'd been praising was mine. The after-party invitations started immediately. Maddie watched from the corner as editors approached me with feature offers. 5 years I've been trying to get their attention," she whispered to Mom on video call. I heard Mom's response. "But how? She's nobody special." The CEO raised his champagne. "To the designer who reminded us why we love fashion." I raised my glass, still wearing my thrift store sweater.